For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heedy Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into the Halos in the Infield postgame show. I'm your host, Todd Fox, as we get it going on a wonderful Wednesday as the Angels win the day before a off day, something we wish they did a lot more in the first half of the season, but that's neither here nor there. Light that baby up. We got it going on tonight, a 2-1 pitchers duel. 2 hours and 17 minutes was the actual game time for the game. So an early post-game show here on the Heedy Baseball Network. And it's the Heedy Network now as we talk about football coming up. We have a football show scheduled for next Thursday, believe it or not, or actually for the second. We're going to have September 2nd show. And then hockey is going to be approaching here late September and October. Ducks hockey is going to be the home. Heedy is going to be the home of Ducks hockey and the NFL recap show. So there you go. Moving forward, though, tonight we got more baseball, and we got to talk Angels baseball, obviously, because we won. We won a game, and we beat the streak. 10 straight losses in a row to those Cincinnati Reds. Pesky Cincinnati Reds have had our number since 2019. Pre-COVID, we could not beat these guys since then. So it's good to get a victory here tonight. Angels get the W. We're going to get into all your comments. We're going to get into everything as far as the softball tournament. If you want to know more about that, we actually will have the registration website up so you guys can register, because we have to have names and people's got to commit. There is a little fee at the door to pay, because we will have food and other stuff there, giveaways. So that helps pay also the charities and stuff like that. That's for September 20th. But that will be first come, first serve to the two Heedy teams on this Friday. I'll put the link in the social media. So with that being said, man, we are so back, Jerry and others that are on the comments. We'll get to all those comments. The Angels win 2-1. Kikuchi pitches like an ace, although he's not an ace. He gets the no decision, as most of our pitchers that have good nights get. They get rewarded with a no decision or a loss. Ashcroft got the loss. Garcia gets his first save with pubic hair, beard himself, Garcia. Reed Detmers gets the W in relief. He pitched a scoreless eighth inning. You had Kikuchi go 7 innings, 1 run, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, the key being no walks, and his pitch count was a good 88 pitches. I thought it was a brilliant move not to bring him out in the 8th inning. He was already right there. I don't think he could have gave you much more than that. Reed Detmers did a good job, only 13 pitches in the 8th, and then Garcia in the 9th inning to close it out was perfect. He only threw 14 pitches and got a strikeout to end the game. So no traffic on the bases right there. And again, this game went only 2 hours long. Cincinnati had been red hot coming into this game. Winners of, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. They're only sitting a game out of, let's see, where are they at here? The wild card, I want to check on them as of right now. They were only a game out. They stay a game out because the Mets lost. So they actually would have picked up a game and moved into that final spot. So this was a big victory for the Angels to get here tonight, which is very something we haven't said very often. But that victory here tonight, coupled with the Mets loss, keeps the Reds out only a game in the for the final wild card spot with Terry Francona at the helm. Marte singled to left. Key Brian Hayes scored. It was 1-0 Reds. Then Mancada would hit a home run in the fourth inning. The Angels would get the bases loaded before Renifo came through with a clutch hit. Before the bases loaded situation where they could have blown the game open in the bottom of the eighth. Tendencio would double, and then he would get to third on a wild pitch, and then Renifo would single him in. That's all they needed. 2-1. Again, this is one of the rare victories they get when they score 3 or less runs. So we'll take it. The overall lineup, there was a scare tonight. Zach Neto got hit in the wrist, but MRI and everything came out negative, so he'll be okay. Might just be a little sore. It's a good time to have an off date. He may or may not be in the lineup on Friday. But we'll see. With the Cubs coming to town, Peraza came in. And looking at this lineup, the highest batting average is Shawnewill right now at 269. And then it's Zach Neto at 267. And everybody else is below 250 or at the Mendoza line. That's still pretty bad. I say we fire the entire hitting staff and analytics crew, but who the hell am I? Neto 0 for 2, Peraza 0 for 1, Renifo 1 for 4 and an RBI, 2 for 4, Mike Trout and a strikeout. Taylor Ward 0 for 3 and a strikeout, but he got a walk. Mancada with a solo home run tonight and an RBI. Adele went 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, but he got a walk. Darno went 0 for 3 and a strikeout. Kavadas did Kavadas things. 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts. Kavadas is a walking K. Tendencio 1 for 3 and a strikeout. And again, the Angels always do this, right? It's like no matter what, they could be sitting on, like they were last night, sitting on 7 strikeouts going into the 9th inning. They were going to lose that game, but could they avoid the double-digit 10 strikeout? Of course not. They had to strike out the side to get to 10 strikeouts. And tonight seemed like the same damn shit. They had to reach 10 strikeouts, even with all the positives in this game. They had to get 10 strikeouts, and a big help was Kavadas. But at least in the first 3, or actually, I want to say 4 at batters tonight, only 2 strikeouts. If they can limit it to that, that's going to be good things for the Angels. But the Angels losing here or winning here tonight, breaking that streak again, haven't beaten the goddamn Reds since 2019. So not bad as far as, and I can't believe it, but in the right there in TikTok, everyone's like, or you have one person saying, well, what about the wild card for the Angels? Angels are 6.5 out. Again, if you're banking on this team making the postseason, they are a -75 differential, runs scored to runs given up. That's not going to cut it, man. Unless something dramatic would happen. There's a reason why the Yankees at +111 lead the wild card. +90 is Boston right behind them. +15 is the Mariners. Only the Kansas City Royals, who are 2.5 out, are a -3. But everyone else has got minus differential except the Tampa Bay Rays, but somehow they've lost 3 in a row. And they're sitting right there, 6.5 out. There's too many teams to jump. Obviously, there's too many teams to jump. So we'll see. As far as the upcoming games, before I get into the awards for tonight, we got the freaking Chicago Cubs coming to town here. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup here moving forward. With the Cubs, it will be let's see, to be named. A lot of to be announced, actually. Anderson will go against to be announced on Friday. Then you got to be announced will be against Horton. Horton gives a who is 7-4. Cade Horton with a 3 ERA. He's been pretty good so far for the Cubs. Coming off a loss though, where he did pitch 7 innings. He'll go against the Angels. And then on Sunday, the day game will be to be announced versus Boyd, Matthew Boyd, who's 12-6 with a 2.61 ERA. Our only hope is that we can hit the ball in the daytime games very far because the ball should carry. But this dude has lost, or the last 5 starts he's had for the Cubs in general have lost 4 of those 5 games. But he still has a sparkling ERA, a ton of strikeouts. He will be a tough matchup. The Cubs series is going to be a tough matchup either way. So again, it's not something where you're going to be like, oh, I have a really good feeling. Texas two-step is right after Chicago, by the way. So the Angels finally salvaged one against the freaking Reds. They only scored 6 runs in 3 games against the Reds. So no es bueno. No es bueno. So with that being said, let's get in some comments. I'll get into the TikTok one. Actually, no, let me give the awards. I'm sorry. I keep backtracking on that. Player of the game. Let's go with the Golden Stamos Award for player. And here's the thing, again, we know Kikuchi's not going to give it 1 run every night, but the thing we needed from him to be was consistent in the strike zone. Obviously, he's not an ace, but we're asking him to be an ace. We're asking him to be something he's not. But in all actuality, if he's a good number 3, almost number 2, we're good with that. And that's why I felt he was tonight. 1 run, 7 hits, got the 4 strikeouts. He doesn't need to be a strikeout guy. He needs to be a guy that can get ground ball outs and fly outs. And he did that for the most part tonight. Now, like I said before, the key to the game was him not walking anybody, not getting himself into a lot of high leverage situations. He avoided that, and it paid off. And he got a no decision. Should have got a win, but of course we can't score for him. So he gets player of the game. Who gets Nacho Knight
for the worst performance of the night? Congratulations, you played yourself.
Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award for worst player on the field. I'm gonna give it to my boy Kavadas. Kavadas is ass, and he's a 4A player. He'll never be in the major leagues. So, and he's only in there right now because of either injury or DFAs. He is the quintessential, like, we need a body up here, and that's all it is. He has got a wild swing. He just does not have any kind of redeeming baseball qualities. Could be the greatest guy ever. Could be the funniest dude in the room. Could be the coolest dad ever if he's a father. I'm not talking about his personal life. I'm shitting on him as far as a player. As far as a player, this guy is never going to go anywhere. And it's sad to see it, but it is just the truth. He can hit a bunch of balls down there in freaking Salt Lake, and that's great. But he's not going to do it up here. And so it is what it is, man. He's a 4A guy, and he's a go-between till we solve whatever issue we need in that lineup. But Kavadas was asked tonight, 3 strikeouts. He looked lost up there, and again, there's nothing there. Corey says Angels still have a tough schedule going forward. They do. You say the GOATs. Neto's fine, Christina. Don't worry about him. What are we, 6 back on the wild card? 6.5. Herman says we're so back. Alex says Renifo coming in the clutch when his job is on the line. Also, that Heedy ass says I think that's what it says. I think Silseth will pitch because Jose is on paternity. I'm looking forward to that. Straight cheeks, Adrian says. Also, Kavadas. Yes, he is straight cheeks, man. And seeing Silseth up for the first time would be pretty nice. We'll see where we go from there. Checking in real quick, obviously, is Mateo, and Mateo always gets the first comment over here on YouTube. And that means one thing, baby. That means it's Spritz o'clock.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Love it when we can play that when it actually means something, right?
This fat son of a bitch is gonna drown us all out.
Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
People calling for them sound bites.
Got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Oh, yeah.
On everybody, my name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. Spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. Crack into a good source of protein with how about a yummy tasting nut? I love the nut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had me fired up.
LV says Mancada with a good old classic. Out of here. EQ says we won 1 game against the Reds. Let's fucking go. Grillmaster says, I don't know about you guys, but me love you long time.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny, and me love you long time.
Either you guys are bored or you guys just want to hear the soundbite.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Mike Trout says, well, we won for once when Mateo spritzes. Tyler says, dang, we're back, boys. X-rays were negative on Neto. Thank you, James Malou. Playoffs, here we come. Artie Suck says, Mateo, I love you, but can you stop spritzing? Also, Grillmaster says, Q Angels in the outfield. We won. Yeah, it's a surprise we won.
We won?
Also, Corey says, I was reading the Instagram Loyal Halos, and 99% of the fans want Artie to sell. That's for sure. Seen an article today that they emphasize the idea of Corbin and John Gray to the Angels next season. I don't like Corbin. I think he's over his career. His career is over. But John Gray, I would take a flyer on Gray. Corbin, not so much. Also, by the way, San Jose Earthquakes suck. Whatever. Grillmaster says the red team won again. It was ours this time. Also, LV says, I'll be at the game Friday. Let's start a fucking winning streak. Grillmaster says my boy Soriano got some time off because he's having too much sex. Congratulations, bro. Frostblaze said, we got lucky to win tonight. A lot of unacceptable miscues again. Albert Poole says, no Peaches Mama's way. We actually beat Los Rojos a la verga. The Archangel says, avoid the helmet nachos. I had explosive diarrhea all day. Horrible in the car incident. Oh, Archangel, too much information. But I will say this. I've had bad helmet nachos there as well. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. Those nachos, when I got sick at the game, my girl had to like I literally was lucky she had some Pepto on her. She takes some pills sometimes and some antacids. Sometimes she gets acid reflux. And man, oh man, the chicken was rubbery as hell in those helmet nachos, dude. And yeah, I let's just say I bombed China when I got home. It was yeah. Already going cheap on the helmet nachos too. Get him out of here, Jerry says. JM touches on what we all want to know. How is Patrick O'Neill employed? I don't know. Patrick O'Neill is definitely an enigma. He sucks. Yeah, helmet nachos will give you. Wait. A lot of that. Not a lot of this.
Wow, winning.
You kind of lose when you have the helmet nachos. Also, Brian said a nice win before the Cubs come to town. Either we take 2 or we get swept. I think we win one out of 3 right there. I think that's where we're going to be the rest of the year. Mateo, they're talking soccer. Come on now, guys. We won with Matty Vasgersian on the broadcast. Q Lombardi. That is weird for us. We usually lose every time one of the best guys is out there calling the game. What the hell's going on out here? Also, did you see the division realignment stuff being floated around? What are your opinions on this? Let me just say this. They're trying to say the Dodgers and Giants. No, Dodgers, Angels. What is it called? The Padres and the Diamondbacks will be in the division. I just did a podcast earlier with Fernando. There's no way. That's like separating the Cowboys from the NFC East. It's not going to happen. It's like separating the Packers and Bears from the NFC North. It's not going to happen. The Angels are not going to be in the same division as the Dodgers. If anything, it's going to be the Angels, the Portland team or Utah team, Seattle, and Las Vegas. That'll be your 4. And then the Dodgers will keep the rivalry with the Giants, keep the rivalry with the Padres, keep the rivalry with the Diamondbacks. The Rockies will be the odd man out. And again, you'll have divisions, Houston and Texas in the same division, probably with Colorado. And then you'll have a Midwest division. They might have Kansas City link up with St. Louis in the same division since they're rivals. So who knows? But I don't think they're going to go crazy like that. I thought that was the stupidest thing I saw was the Angels and Dodgers in the same division. That's dumb. Archangel says, I heard Gavin loves hot dogs and protein shakes. Yeah, he's got a lot of that. LV says that was a good closing action right there. The red team could not read Detman. Will you stop with that joke, Artie Growmaster? Alfonso says, we're so back. Hell yeah. Getting ready for the parade. Also, I was reading that Artie's going to have to pay millions upon billions of dollars for the audit. And we'll see what happens right there. Again, I'm not holding my breath. Look, this is what sucks, Corey. It's either going to be one of the greatest news for Angel fans in a long time that's going to force him to sell, and he's going to have to take that $6 billion, which I think the team's going to be worth at the time, or $5 billion once the stadium is fixed. Either he's going to have to take it and run, or it's going to be a big nothing burger and he holds on to this team till he dies. I don't think there's a middle, and that's what scares me. So I'm rooting for the worst possible outcome for one Arturo Backstabber Moreno. Also, looks like Kikuchi must have gone out for a slump buster. I'm not going to read that one. Also, Mancada drives one out to center, deep, free to back, pulls up, and it's out of here. Nice home run, pubic hair, beard himself, Garcia. Yeah, that beard is disgusting, by the way. Looks like it's going to be a big night for Saturday, EQ says. Also, it's Grillmaster's birthday, so that means they're going to lose. Grillmaster says, I'd make a joke about Kavadas, but there's more Ks there, but that would not be appropriate for YouTube. Mateo says, Ohtani got lit up tonight against the Rockies. He allowed 5 runs, which all were earned. And he got lit up by us, too. People forget about that. I hid the broom at my house so my mom would not sweep at all today. Light that baby up. There you go, Halo Boots. Thank you for that donation as well. Moisty pubic, that's disgusting. Artie Suck says, will Mike Trout get 400 home runs this year? Jeez, I don't know. I don't think it's going to come against the freaking Cubs either, dude. I think he's going to have to wait till they go on the road. He'll probably get it on the road for sure. And then guess what? Before the end of the season, we will have a Mike Trout 400 bobblehead. Ohtani got knocked around against the Rockies. Matt Jam says Adele almost cost us the game for not catching that fly ball. Our outfield, Matt, has been ass all year. And I mean ass with a capital A. That is something that needs to be addressed in the offseason, dude. I'm telling you. Oh, no, what happened today, Reds? So we got to play this real quick before we get to Mateo's.
Oh, no. What happened? Oh, no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh, no.
Angels have an underrated farm. I think we're one of the better teams in terms of top-level talent. Josh, I would love to say you're right, but I have to disagree with you on that. We're dead last in all the divisions, and we have very inconsistent play down there. If you would have said that about the Trash Pandas last year and the year before, I'd agree with you. But they have been ass this year. There's been a lot of letdowns in the farm system. Blood Moon says, no way you can be satisfied with this win. Been losing series after series now. I'm not. It's been pretty disappointing. Tyler says, looking at a list of teams Halos would have to jump, looks like the journey to freaking Modor. After the Cubs, we have the Texas two-step. Cubbies have been struggling lately. Angel, Kyler, Tucker, Angel Killer Kyle Tucker has been benched and been getting some off days because he didn't run out a routine ground ball to second base. Well, you know what? I wish we would sit Renifo for not hustling after a ball went over his head, but we don't do things like that. Who gets the Marshall Award? I'm not going to give that one out tonight. We won, didn't get fucking swept. Fuck Artie and D's nuts. Yeah, I think anytime you can say fuck Artie, it's a good comment.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Also, Cade Horton is a rookie pitcher who's got good stuff. I would have rather had Boyd pitch on my birthday. I think we had a better shot against him than Cade Horton. We'll see what happens. Also, well, it's about fucking time. Saucy checks in. Mateo says Marsha has Grill Masters moisty hair. Also, Saucy says Kikuchi was a warrior tonight. He sure was. He played pretty good. Let's see. Also, boy, the outfield defense has been incredible this year. It has. It has. Dude, I swear to God, this team has been a joke defensively. And again, for a team that's supposed to be Ron Washington coached, they're not playing, Ron Washington baseball, even when he was in there. DJ, he's fine. It's just a little Coco, a little boo-boo. He'll be all right. Neto will be fine. Why would they sit Nolan down when he's our guy that needs the at-bats? He does, but you do want to have a day off here and there. If Silseth pitches on my birthday, we're cooked. James says balls, and the Angels win, baby. Got to get them balls out there. We haven't been doing this one very much.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Angels win. Vote for Bond says, is Silseth going to start? He's been in the bullpen lately. They got to make up their minds, man. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. And there could be a couple more cuts from what I heard pretty soon here. 2 Deos, please. Let's get those 2 Deos for 2 runs. That's all we need. Also, will Papa Fox be at the game Saturday? I think so. I think I'm going to try to bring him down. Let's see. Also, we're definitely going to lose on his birthday. Also, Todd can have a Roger Lodge in a minute. Can we call in winning? Yeah, why not? I'll throw the bat signal out to you guys, and you guys can check in, and we'll see what you guys have to say after the win today. So how about that? I'll put that in the comment right there so you can grab that link and jump on. My favorite part of the Spritzer clock is Artie crying. Nelson Rada is super legit. Gavin writing a worthless, non-credential article about Rogers yummy tasting balls. Ew. JT says, so we bring in our closer in a tie situation, but not when it's a save situation. Well, he was actually out tonight, JT. He had sore ribs. So that's what it was right there. Dan says, did I miss Stukas once again? No. Yes, you did. It's almost duck season. Neto is fine. God, I hope my sweet baby boy Neto is okay. He is fine. X-rays are negative. Let's see. Also, Angels haven't won on my birthday since 2013. eBay says a beard that big should have a mustache to go with it. Very strange that he doesn't have a mustache. It's not only that, he shaves it like right here to the edge of his chin. So it comes out like real fluffy only, and it's not hanging down like this. It's real fine, and it doesn't even go up to his hairline either. So it looks very, very sus. Very sus. Trash Halo says, I know Pinchy's way. Angels won. Yes, they did. Breaking news, Todd. Alex says Angels are still ass. That's not the breaking news. Breaking news is Cocked on Locked said he couldn't make it to the post game because he just moved into his apartment at UCLA with his furry boyfriend. He's going to get back to being credentialed. Mateo says Halo honks are mad because there were no home runs tonight. Yep. They weren't able to clap for that one. Trout can't hit unless the pitcher is over 30. Damn, that's true. Mario says Rally Chris wants to know when's Grildo's birthday is. Well, Mario, for some reason, there hasn't been an entire month dedicated to Grillmaster's birthday. So I feel a little bad for Grillmaster there. Fisting the North Star says Rich Eisen back on Sports Center makes me feel old. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys that have left what do you call it? ESPN have not aged very good. Let's just say that. And ESPN hasn't aged very good either. Also, Archangel says Artie and the donkey walking to a bar. Bartender asks, "What does the jackass drink?" Donkey replies, "I don't know about him, but I'll have some water." Daniel says, "Good game." I guess. I mean, we didn't. 2-1's a good pitched match. A good game, a pitching matchup. But I want to see some runs being scored. So we'll see. We had a homer. No, we did not, Andrew. Ambush says, "Is Nick Cavadas your brother?" No, you keep asking, is he my brother? But no. David said, "Todd, what's your opinion on the realignment of the divisions of 32 teams?" I do, like I said earlier, I think it's either going to come down to Utah and Portland in the West, and one of those teams will be in the West Division, along with the Angels, Mariners, and Las Vegas. And then if you look out east, it's Tampa Bay is going to eventually go to Orlando. That's going to turn into a fun team that's right next to Disney World. And then you're going to have a Nashville team as well. So I think the two expansion teams will, one will be out west, one will be in Nashville for sure. Their groups are ready, their stadium sites are ready. They're just waiting on and they have the money ready to pay the expansion fee. They're just waiting on the goddamn the Rob Manfred to give them an opportunity to have a franchise. And I think they'll be good. Either way, it's going to work out. But the realignment's good for baseball. It's going to add it's going to add some more games against certain teams that you wouldn't see, which is good. And then the divisions are going to be more cut and dry. I like that better. So it'll give you that NFL type feel. And I think it's good for baseball. But again, if you're looking for them to break up rivalries, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Trust me. You're still, there's no way they break up the NL Central other than maybe get rid of the Pirates. Like they'll move the Pirates out of that division because although they're a fighting rival, like as far as fights, they're not like a contending rival. So you'll see like the Reds stay in that division because one of the oldest teams. They won't touch the NL East much or the AL East, other than to probably boot either Toronto or Tampa, the Orlando team, out. They'll probably keep Toronto over there, but yeah, certain teams that you can't afford to get rid of and break up those rivalries. Deuces Wild says, "Todd, are the Angels done or do they have still a shot at the playoffs?" They're done. They're done. Some people are going to disagree, but I don't think they're going to get there. Obviously, they would have to go on a tremendous run, and there's just too many teams to jump. When we were saying this about 6 weeks ago, we said, man, if the Angels were to finish out these teams and these series and get on at least a 5-game win streak here, lose 1 or 2, then get back, win 6 in a row again, they would have been ahead of the class. They would have been sitting right where Seattle is at, but they can't do that. They could never put something together. They're too inconsistent. They rely on analytics. They change up their game. They don't adjust to the other team. It's just weird. So yeah, I don't I don't see that happening. Mike Trout hit 2 meaningless singles tonight. Nick Cavadas is Squid 2.0. Alex says, "I can't even look at Matty Money Smith the same anymore until you mentioned he jumped ship to the Doyers and he's a radio announcer for my Chargers." I'm telling you, Alex, when I knew him, I've met him several times, especially when he was on K-Rock. He was a cool dude. He did root for the Angels, and he was a cool guy. And I'm not saying he's not now, but just I don't like when guys go turncoat. And he went Dodgers. He went, obviously he was, I forget what football team he was into because he was into another team before the Chargers. So if he tries to tell you that shit that he was a Charger fan always, it's bullshit. I know that guy for a long time. And yeah, he was he did turncoat against the Angels, went full on Dodgers. And Petros isn't a Dodger fan either, but he's claiming that shit just to be on LA radio. A lot of the LA radio guys, I would say, outside of the originals, like Vic the Brick Jacobs. I forgot the guy who used to be on Channel 2 and he moved on. He's still on Fox Sports, but he does a lot of college football stuff. And there's only a couple guys I knew that bled Dodger blue on the radio, and that were actually real Dodger fans that went and that were Dodger fans forever. But definitely Matt Money Smith was not a Dodger fan. He jumped ship from us. Josh says Bryce T isn't bad at the plate. He's not. Is Todd related to Eric Sim? No, I'm not. Dan Rio says, are the Yankees and Mets going to be in the same division? So damn stupid. No, that I don't know. I heard it was Jim Bowden who came up with that stupid graphic on the MLB network. There's no fucking way you're going to take the Mets out of the Braves division. That is a long time rival. You're not going to take the Phillies away from the Mets. You're not going to take the Braves away from the Phillies. Those teams have been fighting each other forever. That is the dumbest shit ever. It's so stupid when he's like, oh yeah, the Pirates and the Orioles are going to be in the same division. The Dodgers and the Angels. No, they're not. They're not going to do that. That is the dumbest shit ever. That is such a fake post, dude. That is such a fake post. I'm telling you, if there is realignment, which there's going to be when it happens, I don't know if it's before the pending strike or the labor talks, or it's going to be after. Whenever it happens, whenever we get the expansion teams, I'll guarantee both my butt cheeks that there's no way the Dodgers and the Angels will be in the same division. There's no way the Yankees and the Mets will be in the same division. That is suicide to baseball. You have to have that outside chance that maybe, just maybe, Houston can face the Rangers in the World Series. The Yankees can meet the Mets in the World Series again. The Angels could meet the Dodgers in the World Series again. The Cubs could meet the White Sox. What good is it to put them in the same fucking division? That is the dumbest thing ever, dude. It's not going to happen. It is just not going to happen. Again, I swear to God, it's not going to happen. Let Trout go to the expansion team. Tony C says Angels Matty V is awesome. Do you think the Angels can surprise and take the 4 series? That would be something. Sharon, smash the like button. Max Market Pros, go there for all your website needs, and 714 tickets get your discount through Heaty, baby. HIT on the apply now code. Go to maxmarketpros.com. David says, Todd, how many players off the roster will actually be back next year? That is a good question. I would have to say, if you're looking at the roster right now, I could tell you right now who's going to be back for sure. I can really tell you right now. Let me go over here to the roster. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I would say Brock Burke gets a contract from the Angels because he pitched really good. I think Chafin, I think he's under contract. I might be wrong. He's 35. I think he's a free agent. Obviously, it'd be I would say Burke, Detmers, Fermin. That's just from the pitching side. Kikuchi, obviously, and Zephyr John. Obviously, Soriano as well. Travis d'Arnaud will be back. Logan O'Hoppe will be back. Christian Moore, obviously. Zach Neto, Shonawell, Adele, Trout, and Ward. And Tendencio. Other than that, everyone else is up for grabs, basically, and possibly on the way out. Angels blew their wad during the Dodgers series. It's all downhill until next spring. Q Lombardi. Moncada is a free agent, so you'd have to sign him. He's actually one of the better ones on the free agent market. Mario says Matt Money was a diehard Bears fan. You see, I'm telling you, I don't like people like that. Look, here's my thing, and hear me out on this one. So let's just say Todd Fox gets a contract to go to Fox Sports West, Ohio, and I've got to call Cleveland Browns games or do a Cleveland Browns post-game show. Now, obviously, I'm getting paid for that. Would I wear the gear? Yeah, I'm getting paid for it. Would I talk about the Browns' history? Absolutely. Would I call the games how I see it? Absolutely. Would I be unbiased or maybe biased towards the Browns and have that give you that the listener or the viewer the feel that I'm fully intrigued into every Browns play, every Browns player, absolutely I would do that. Why? Because I'm getting paid to do that. However, if I'm going to talk the talk, I'm going to walk the walk. I'm going to be about the Browns when I'm on the clock, when I'm supposed to be at the stadium, when I'm reporting about them, and so on and so on. But however, I would be real with the listener and the viewer as well and say, hey, you know what? I am all about the Browns. But if I had to tell you, and at least if I'm just telling you from afar and I'm not giving you my 100%, I would have to put a disclaimer out there, be like, hey, man, I am from the LA area, but I spent time in Seattle. I went up there, saw a lot of games. My first team is the Seahawks, and I am a Seahawks fan. But the Browns are my boys. The Browns is who I cover, and I'm going to give you the raw, real, passionate Browns fan thing because I am a Browns fan. I don't have to tell them I'm paid to be a Browns fan, but I could just be real with them and be all about it. Because, I mean, look, there's actors out there like Locked on Cox. They're pretty good actors, but not that good because you could see the realness isn't there. I could at least give you the realness and make you feel and believe that I'm a Browns fan. You know what I mean? But I'm 100% that I would do my best to cover that team. But if you were to say, hey, man, are you really about the Browns? Or if you had to pick one, Seattle playing the Browns, who would you pick? I'd be like, well, got to go with my boys, my Hawks. And that's how it would be. That's how it would be if I was in that position. But Matt Money Smith is a total and complete sellout. Angel fan first, was all about that 2002 World Series team and those years after when they were still good. But when he got offered that job and he left K-Rock, all of a sudden he's a Dodger fan. All of a sudden the Angels suck. And I don't think that to him is, the bandwagon thing. He was paid to become a Dodger dude, and I get that. But he also threw away his allegiance, where I wouldn't throw away my allegiance to the Seahawks or to the Angels if I had to cover another team. He threw away his allegiance. And the same thing he did with the Bears, dude. He threw away his allegiance to be a quote unquote Dodger, or not Dodger, a Charger guy. Also, God damn it. I'm saying it on purpose bad, eBay. Andrew says, you think the Angels will sign Japanese third baseman called, I just had a moment called Minutaka. Yeah, that's what I was saying, dude. And I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew. In the what is it called? The pod that I did with Fernando, I said it would be smart for the Angels if they're not going to go crazy in free agency. It would be smart to go out internationally because you can get an international player, especially unless you were Yamamoto and the Dodgers, but you can get a nice third baseman like that, a slap the ball hitter like that, which would make a lot of contact, which would make a lot of sense with a nice young infield. And if he takes off, it's low risk, high reward. You're going to pay a dude like that coming out of international play, maybe 2 years, 40 million or less. And you're going to get a good player out of it. And then then it's up to you to extend him. Let's see. Deuce says, I would never do anything that has to do with the Dodgers. I hate them more than anything in the AL West. Absolutely. I give you that all the way. There's no way that I would turncoat and go to the Dodgers. Also, Mancada has only 58 games played. Why bring him back? I agree. Could have selected Holiday in the draft. That we did blow that one. Give Dumble the rest of the year off in the outfield. He's horrible. Field offers for Ohapi, Ward, shop everyone except Neto, Shonawell. This team will be a lot different. I agree, but they got to commit, and they haven't shown that they commit. Glad they won, but honestly, who gives a shit at this point? Josh says Gavin isn't an Angels fan. The Galo brothers are, but they're weird. They're from North Hollywood, bro. It would not shock me one bit if they were Dodger fans, dude. And again, they only come to one game a year. Archangel says Locked on Cox don't have any Angels memorabilia in the background. Sus. Absolutely. I wish some people would go on there and troll them more, though. I really would. eBay says, haha, I'm sorry, it fits me with rage. Laugh aloud. That's supposed to just be nice and feel something. Sorry, eBay. Sorry. Let's add Stir Boogie to the lineup here tonight as he gets in. You can click that link and get in yourself as well. Stir Boogie, how you doing tonight, my man?
What up, Todd? I'm doing okay, man. We won tonight. That was cool, but I was chanting "sell the team" after Adele just floppily jogged to that drop single, bro. That was absolutely uncalled for, and I don't know, man. They're just playing like they're out of it. Obviously, they're out of it, but it's like it's one thing to play like you're out of it and actually be out of it, you know?
Well, that's 3 times in 2 games now that we've seen that. And here's the thing too, man. I've seen, like, especially when I had the MLB package, I would flip around to all the games. And I've seen many of times, sometimes like a game will be on and I'm doing some work around the house or something, and it'll be like Phillies Pirates, right? Or Phillies Marlins or someone like that. They're playing, and a team that's hopelessly out of it. And I don't see that give up in those teams. And they could be like, fuck, I don't know, like 51 and 90. And they're playing like they're 91 and 50. You know, so I mean, it's inexcusable to see what you just described.
Yeah, it's sad, bro. Seeing them jog onto the field and they're not even like, they don't have any sense of direction. They're just flopping their limbs onto the field and heads down and negative energy. It's very very sad. Very sad to say the least, bro.
Yeah, and that's in a game that we're actually either tied or we're winning at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and here's the thing too. Like, I remember my manager used to get at us. I had like, I think I want to say a total of 6 managers through the different levels I was in, and not one of them would let us keep our heads down. And the rule was with 2 managers that coached the same team where I was at, they would literally bench you if you came into the dugout with your head down 2 innings in a row. They're like, all right, dude, you're just not being a part of the game tonight. Get your ass on the bench.
Bro. And honestly, personally, bro, just me, I blame Mike Trout. Like, whether we're winning or losing, his like nonchalant attitude is just always it's like these younger guys are going to lean on you. You're the superstar on the team. They're going to hold you to the standard, like, oh, okay, that's acceptable. That's how we should be acting. And if that's not going through their head, they're like, oh, okay, well, I want to be cool. I want to be natural. I want to be Mike Trout. And they're following his body language, dude. He's never, ever playing with some get up, you know?
Yeah.
He might leg out like a ground ball. But other than that, it's like, bro, get your ass on the field. He's like slowly walking off after a strikeout.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, bro. That chaps my ass more than anything because, again, different era. I know analytics has fucked it up. I know, but the strikeout was always looked down upon. And to see Mike Trout strike out, turn around, he has the gum hanging halfway out of his mouth, and he has that half like gritting teeth, kind of like shaking his head with a bat in one hand, and he's walking towards the dugout. And again, it's the same walk back every time, bro. You described it
exact same.
It's the same thing. And again, the one time it made news when he argued with the umpire for a half second. You know, it's like, do you care, bro?
Yeah. And then when he is looking at the umpire, it's like, bro, that was clearly a strike.
Yeah, exactly.
He's looking back at the umpire, shaking his head, just chomping on his gum, walking back to the dugout, like not even shaking his head. He's like slanting it back and forth, like, yeah. Fucking weird.
I think what would light this fan base up is if, like, say for instance, he struck out on a pitch that he struck out a lot this year, but if he struck out on one that was like very, very sus, like he has a couple times, that hasn't been his fault, I would love for him just to throw his freaking bat, like flip that son of a bitch towards their own dugout, and slam his helmet in the ground and get in the umpire's face. Like, show some God. I swear to God, that place would go nuts. It'd be a standing ovation for like 5 minutes.
Oh, you know? Yeah. Mikey!
Yeah, exactly. Like the fans would be chanting MVP as he struck out, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah. 100%.
But
that ain't wrong.
Yeah, but that's what we're missing. But see, the thing is, I believe right now he's sort of got that crown, but when Trout eventually leaves, Neto's already proven it. Like he's a feisty motherfucker. So like he'll start a fight. He'll get with it up. That's the dude we need, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. For sure. How's your night going, bro? Are you going? Excuse me. You going on the weekend or what?
I'll be there all 3 games. I'll be there all 3 games. Yeah, I could make it's been hard this summer because we've had such a rush at work. So yeah, it's gonna be different now. I'll be ready to roll, man. I'll be ready to roll.
I saw Jim out there. He looked sad until the win. Yeah. But right on, bro. Fuck yeah. It's always refreshing to join here, win or lose, but it feels way better after a win, bro. Ever since I've known you, you've always said, like, you know how great it feels to walk out after a win? You know what I mean? Me and my pops were just saying that, like, leaving the game today. Yeah, this win might be meaningless, but it's like, dude, way better than a loss.
Yeah, I mean, everything is better. Kathy's cookies smell even better. Like you're like, hey man, I might just help out one of those people and buy a hot dog. You're high-fiving somebody because you're like, dude, that play was great. That's the only reason why we won tonight. You're talking with your pops, you're having a good conversation, and all of a sudden you're outside the stadium before you know it. But when they're losing or you're leaving the game after a loss, a frustrating loss, it seems like it takes forever to get to your car, man.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So
looking forward to seeing you this weekend, bro. It's gonna be fun.
You got it. Yeah, we'll hang out and have a couple beers, man. This next round's on me, brother.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm holding you to it.
All right, bro. You got it.
I'll see you
All right,
later.
man. You got it later. That's their boogie right there. Let me get back here to the comments. Josh, I think, has a good idea. Can Kyron Paris play third base? He can play second base and shortstop. I can't see why not. He does have a very, very good arm. Josh says, bring up Rada next year. You know what? Here's the thing. Josh has had some good takes, and I'm with you. Rada's only 19 years old. However, he's been tearing it up and playing very good. And there is a chance. Well, there's not a chance. He's going to be up here for spring training. I don't think they're going to call him up, but the Angels are stupid, so they'll probably bring him up. But I would love for him to come up and play with us a full spring and play your way onto that roster. Even if he has to play his way in as a backup, why the hell not? I mean, if you got that kind of speed, which he does, you got that kind of so far from what I've heard, he's a defensive gem out there, got a good arm. His hitting has been here and there. He has barely hit his first home run. So that's good, though, because we don't need a home run guy. We have enough enough exit velocity guys. It would be nice to have that slap the ball hitter. And you could have Rada, you can have Paris, and you could still go out and get the Japanese player or Korean player that could be a slap the ball hitter and an on base guy, high on base guy. I think that's what we need to add more than anything is defense to that outfield. And I'm just talking on the hitting side. Obviously, we need starting pitching. But if you add players like Rada and Paris can get his contact down, that's two guys with tremendous speed. Obviously, if you bring over a guy from Japan or Korea, they are natural-born runners. They're going to have tons of speed. Tendencio, which Josh brings up, that's a lot of speed. And what do they say in every sport, even basketball? Speed kills. And you get a team with maybe 2 or 3 of these guys in the lineup to go along with hustle guys like Neto and Shonawell and Joe Adele power hitting, Mike Trout. If you can fix O'Hoppe, you got big boppers in there along with Taylor Ward. So you could be very bullish about next season. And look at the guys that we're talking about here. They're all guys that are under control except the international player if we were to get one. All those guys are under control, and even if we get the international guy, he'll probably be cheaper than a good reliever or a starter. So there's an opportunity to shore up this team. And again, speed kills. You get guys on base and you run them. You run those motherfuckers. You steal bases. You get aggressive. And look what happens. The tide of a game can turn so quick from just getting a guy to third, first to third, or a guy triples. Like, look at those leadoff triples the Reds had the other night, or anytime they get doubles, you turn a single into a double. It's just, it changes the complexity because then now the ball's in your court. You, with a leadoff guy at second base, you could bunt that guy over, go to third base, and then you could set up a sacrifice or go for the big bomb, or you can go for a ground ball to score him in. That puts pressure because what if the pitcher can't find the zone after he has a guy at third base? Then you have first and third. Then you take the guy from first base and you put him in scoring position. And they won't dare throw the ball to second base because if they do, you got speed at third. That dude can go right home. And then they're conceding a run. So, and then what if the guy's safe at second base? You just let a run score. And then if you don't throw, it's second and third. And now that other team has to be like, well, do we set up the double play? Do we walk the next guy, or do we try to pitch the guy and then you have an opportunity as a hitter to get the sacrifice fly or go for the 2-run single? So it opens up everything. You see what I did? All these little scenarios over just a leadoff double. And again, speed kills and can get you that. And that's why I think that's where this team should start. Archangel's going to do the Lord's work and troll Locked on Cox. That'd be great. If you do screenshot, I swear to God, just for the hell of it, I'll give a free hat to anybody who trolls them more than once and screenshots it. I'll be like, hey, send me your address in the on the email, and I'll send you a hat just for the hell of it. That's the Lord's work. Trade Trout for some prospects. Sign Ramon Laureano. Josh says, I have a weird feeling Trout is hooked on painkillers. That's a statement right there, but who knows? Last year, I trolled the Locked On Pod on YouTube, but no one joined. Oh, it's like, I know Tyler's done it before. What's the number one thing we need in the 2026 season? Obviously, like a John Ryan ace. We need an ace. There's absolutely no getting around it. But how many years have we said it? And how many years have we been ignored as fans from Artie Moreno? Artie doesn't spend money. He's already bitching about losing $50 million in attendance, plus losing money in the what's it called, the contract for TV. I thought with Chaps, Todd's ass was the thong. Richard Thurman checking in for the first time in a long time with an LA logo. He says, Todd, that's called $25 million guaranteed contract. What's up with the Dodger thing? Do you lose a bet? Matt says, I love Neto. No, that's right. Richard's a Dodger fan. I forgot about that. Also, Josh says we need to lock up Neto. We should lock up Adele too. If he can learn how to hit, he'd be a superstar. 100%. I think Neto needs to be that locked up guy next year. And I think Adele I would tell his agent, which I think his agent, oh no, we can't do it then. I think his agent is fucking the agent we all hate, Boris. He doesn't do in-season what's it called? Negotiations. Yeah, damn, that's right. Damn it. Mario says going to be 95 degrees this weekend. Stay hydrated, especially Sunday. eBay says I'll be there on Friday. I'll try to swing away and say what's up. Hell yeah. Grillmaster says, what's your prediction for the Cubs game Saturday? I don't know who's pitching. Mike Trout came up with the majors at 19, so I might work for Rada. It might work for Rada. Vote for Bond says Denzer Guzman gonna be getting called up. He gets lost to Rule 5. He can play shortstop third. Okay. Also, dream on Trout, gutless. Richard Thurman also says Trout checked out years ago, $25 million guaranteed, and he finally decided to check out really because he knew with Artie the Angels were going nowhere. That's what the Trout attitude, period. Unfortunately, Juan says season starts today, baby. Let's go.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
F bandwagoners. I'm an Angels fan for life. Let's go, Angels. Yes, you are, Jesus. I trolled them, but they pretend not to read my comments. Of course they do. Also, is Joe Ryan, not John Ryan. Whatever. Hoppy needs a hard reset. Send him to a sports therapist. That'd be good. And Rocket City, damn. One of my members is a co-worker of Scott Boras. When I see her again at work in September, I will ask her which one of our players is a Boras client, and I'll report back to you. I think it is Boras. Boris is the agent for I want to say Adele. I could be wrong, but I almost am sure it is Adele. Mateo says circus music for the outfield. Yeah, they played pretty shitty tonight. More like this. But don't talk about them.
If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up.
Damn. There you go. All right, so we're all caught up. Let's see. I'll bet at Petco I'll be at Petco. I think that's what he meant. Rooting for the Padres beat LA. They better show up. They got fucking swept in LA. So I want the Padres to return the favor and get back into first place, but we'll see. Standing so far, you got the Blue Jays holding on to a 4-game lead over the Yankees, which is still hard to say. Red Sox are 5.5 out. Detroit is all but wrapped up that Central Division, 10 games up on the Royals, shit fucks, and Twins. And then you got Houston only a game and a half up on the Mariners. And also the Astros don't want that division for some reason. Angels, if they could have been winning, could have caught up already, or at least been within striking distance. They're 8 out somehow. Rangers are 6.5 out. Both the Mariners and Astros lost 5 and 4 alike. Then you got the Phillies, 6.5 up on the Mets. They are pretty much wrapping that division up. You have the Brewers, 6 up on the Chicago Cubs. They should have that one. They're plus 162. One of the best in baseball. That's freaking awesome. That's even better than the Dodgers. Then you have the, speaking of the Dodgers, they are a game up on the Padres. Padres are sitting there, and the Giants have fallen out of it. They're way back, so are the Diamondbacks. Wild card real quick. You have the Yankees +2, Red Sox plus a half game, Mariners holding the 3rd spot, Royals 2.5 out of that. Shit fucks are 3 back. Rangers are 5 back. Your Halos are 6.5, along with the Rays at 6.5 back. And then over to the National League, the Cubs are plus 5.5. They should get in. Padres are plus 3.5. They should get in. But the Mets are holding on by dear life. Only a game up on the Reds. Cardinals are fading. Arizona's fading. And so is the Giants. And so there you go right there. That is your playoffs right there. Or your divisions. Richard says, laugh out loud. No, lost bet. But I do have a Reggie Jackson 500 home run ticket. How many honkers have that? Cha-ching. That is true. Good night, Richard. Also, let's see. I think that's it. I'm going to check in on tonight unless someone else has another comment right now. If not, we'll call it a night. We're at that hour mark. Check out and look out for our podcast tomorrow. On Halos in the Infield, we'll have that new episode with me and Fernando as we broke down the divisions. We also talked about what the Angels have been up to and much, much more on the Halos in the Infield podcast. So with that being said, I'll play you out one more time as we did tell the Reds finally.
Oh no. What happened? Oh no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh no.
Good night, everybody. Angels win.